I'm not going to do 1 through 10 because I can cover that. I think we had 1 through, correct me if I'm wrong, we just had 1 through 19, correct?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
20. 1 through 20.
1 through 20? All or?
All.
All, good. I'm glad I did that. I'm going to do number 18.
Okay, I'm just going to do it again.
Okay. Unless you have a different preference, or if you want me to do 17. 17 or 18, what do you want?
18.
18 looks good. All right, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do the stuff you had to do in 1 through 10 also, just so you know how to do it. So we got h of x is going to be equal to x squared times x minus 2 squared times x plus 2 squared. Okay? So, number 18. All right, we are going to, I've got to get out of calculus mode. I was about to say take the derivative. All right, we are doing a polynomial function where we're graphing, where we're finding the zeros. We're doing a sign analysis and we're graphing it. But I'm going to go back and do what you had to do in problems 1 through 10. In problems 1 through 10, you had to do 4 things. You had to give the degree. You had to give the leading term. You had to do the leading coefficient. And you had to do the constant of the polynomial. So let's practice for number 18 what you did in 1 through 10 so you know how to do 1 through 10. Okay? All right. And then make sure you do all these. If you don't do all these, don't expect to do well on the test. I'm just going to tell you straight up. This test is going to be harder.
Isn't it supposed to be an N for the degree?
D or N.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, degree N. If you do the homework, you're going to do really well. Okay? But you got to do the homework. All right, here we go. Here's the thing. If it's not multiplied out, do you need to multiply it actually all out? No. What you can do is you can find the leading term by multiplying the highest powers in each part of the product. So what Carter has to be able to do is read this. X squared, everybody read it with me. What does it say? X squared times x minus 2 squared times x plus 2 squared. So there's 3 parts. Okay? There's an x squared. I'm going to do the leading term first. There's another x squared because it will get squared, will it not? Mm-hmm. And then there's another x squared because it will get squared. So we'll have x to the what?
6.
We'll have 1x to the 6, so the degree is 6. I know, it's light. All right, oh, it is. What's the leading coefficient? And if you don't think it's light, then I'm going to make you multiply it out for the rest of the time. Does anybody want to FOIL all that? No, I don't want to go x squared times x minus 2 times x minus 2 times x plus 2. Carter whispered, okay, I'll make him do it. I'll put a special note on the test. Carter, remember, you have to multiply it out. Okay? But does everybody see this? Guys, can't you see it now? X squared times x times x times x times x is going to give you that x to the 6th. Okay? The coefficient's 1 because there's no coefficients of x. They're all 1s. Now, the constant's the same thing, but you have to take the constants. All right, the constant here is what? What's the constant here? 2. What's the constant here? But it's going to be a 2 squared. It's going to be a negative 2 squared. And then what's the constant for this first one? 0. Well, when you set it equal to 0, doesn't it equal 0?
So basically, anytime you have an x
Anytime there's just an x out or an x squared and x a third, the constant's going to end up being 0.
Oh, but like the stuff in the parentheses.
The parentheses will be negative 2 squared and then 2 squared. So that's going to be 0 times 4 times 4, but anything times 0 is what?
So do you even have to do the math, or can you just put 0?
If you know it, you don't have to do the math. I don't care about seeing. You can just write answers. Now, that's what you were supposed to do in problems 1 through 10. Everybody look at problems 1 through 10. That's what you have to do on all problems 1 through 10. Do them, check them, make sure you get the answers. Any questions you don't have, come to me, ask. Okay? Come to me and ask if you don't.
Call them at 8:30.
Don't call them at 8:30. Okay?
Try to call them.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Well, problem is I didn't have my phone. I was getting ready for my mom and family coming in. All right, now let's go back to 18. What do the directions 11 through 20 say? 11 through 20 says, find the real zeros of the given polynomial, their corresponding multiplicities. Use this information to provide a sign chart. We do a sign analysis. And then provide a rough sketch of the graph. Confirm with your graphing calculator or graphing utility. So you can check it with your calculator. You won't be able to do it on the test, but you can check your homework with the calculator and make sure you're doing it right. All right, zeros. How do you find the zeros of a polynomial? It's already factored, so all you got to do is set it equal to what? Now, you know what we're doing today? We're going to not have them factored, and we're going to factor them with synthetic division so that we can do what I'm doing right now. Find the zeros and graph it.
Let's go.
Okay? X plus 2 squared. All right, let's set it equal to 0. So if you read it again, let's read it again. Ready? Read it with me again. What does it say?
X squared.
Times.
X minus 2.
Times. So do you see each part that has to get set equal to 0? If you read it, you know each part that's got to get set equal to 0. This doesn't have a constant, so it's going to be just x squared equals 0. So you're going to get x equals plus or minus 0. So that's going to give you x equals 0 with a multiplicity 2. That has a multiplicity 2 because there's 2 of them. Some people are like, well, you took the square it. It's plus or minus 0, but plus 0 and negative 0 are the same. So you get 0 twice. So that's multiplicity 2. 0 is the only one that does that. If you have plus or minus 2, that would not be multiplicity 2. That'd be positive 2 and negative 2. That's 2 different answers. But 0 is the only one when you have a plus or minus that it ends up being the same thing twice. Now this is different though. This x minus 2 squared, the square is not on the x, is it? It's around the whole thing. Do you see that? So it's really x minus 2 times what? So you get the same answer twice? So you get x equals 2, multiplicity 2 again. And then I get what? So you're going to get x plus 2 times x plus 2. So what do you get for your answers? Negative 2 twice. All of these have multiplicity 2.
What's this graph?
It's going to do a lot of bouncing. Follow the bouncing ball. All right, here we go. Sign analysis. And it's either, since they all bounce, since every one of these bounces, it's either all going to be above or all going to be below. The sign analysis is going to be all positive or all negative. I'm going to give you a good hint here. All of these are getting squared. If you square something, they all become what? So it's all going to be what? Above. You should know this before you even do it. But let's do the sign analysis and let's double check it just to make sure. It's negative infinity to what? Negative 2. What's the next one? Negative 2 to 0. What's the next one? 0 to 2. What's the next one? 2 to infinity. Is everybody okay with that? So, set up my sign analysis. Hey, I'm teaching right now, but I called you because I was between teaching.
Well, I didn't know that.
I know. That's okay. Just call me when you're done. Because
I'm done on my phone.
You're done already?
Yep.
Was it easy?
Yeah. So I can get back to work and everything.
Okay, awesome. All right, I'll call you when I'm done teaching.
Great, thanks.
Thanks. I should say. Call her back and say, thanks, wife. All right, here we go. Anyways. All right, what value do you want to test? Which one do you want to test? Pick one.
One of the 0 ones.
0, 2.
All right, 0 to 2. What number are you going to test?
1.
You're going to test x equals 1. All right, if I put a 1 in here, what's it going to be? You're squaring it. What's it going to be? Positive. What is it going to be here no matter what? Because 1 minus 2 is a negative, but what's a negative squared? Positive. 1 plus 2 is 3. What's 3 squared? Positive. So it's a positive times a positive times a positive, which is what? Now, the multiplicity is what for all of these?
2.
So is the signs ever going to switch? They're going to stay plus through the whole thing.
Do we have to test it?
You don't have to test if you know. Another way you can do it, and Morgan might do this, you might say, oh, this was degree 6. I know what it is. They're both what? Up. So they have to be what at both ends? And then once you know the multiplicity is even, you know they don't switch. Rough sketch, here we go. Rough sketch would be, ready? It crosses at 2 and negative 2. It crosses at 2 and negative 2. And it crosses at 0. And what's it going to do at every one of these? Bounce, bounce, bounce. There you go. Any questions?
Wait, Morris, how do you know like how high?
You don't know how high and low it goes. You get to make that up.
So it doesn't matter if
Doesn't matter.
super duper tall or super short. Okay.
What day are we on?
15th.
Huh?
Is that what you're asking? What day is it?
Yeah.
It's the 15th.
I just know we have 26 days left.
It's the 15th, Aubrey.
Caleb, what's your first? Is it CALEB?
Did you get your taxes?
Yeah.
done, Morris?
No, you gotta do it today. It'll take 2
My dad's
seconds.
crashing out about his, bro.
Why?
Because apparently it is through the roof.
Ugh. All right, here we go. So that's number 18. All right, go to 3.2. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
All right, go to 3.2. 3.2, I had you do, there's 3 sections. I gave it yesterday. If you didn't get the text remind, page 265, you got 1 through 29 odd. All of it. And we're also going to go over to page 266 and we're going to add something. Oh, yeah, there's a lot, this section. Section 2.3.2 is one of the most important ones. All right, here we go. Let's do one of them. Let's do one from each section. Let's go to problem. Do you want to do a long division one, since you probably got synthetic division down?
5.
5?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know why, but I was struggling with that one.
Okay. I'm going to actually do 4 as well, too.
I feel like when it's like
Even though I'm not doing the evens, I want to do the long division so you can go back and practice 3. Because I'm going to...
missing terms, that's what.
All right, this one's missing terms, so good news. All right, so number 4. We've got negative x to the 5th plus 7x cubed minus x divided by x cubed minus x squared plus 1. All right, we're doing long division. Which one's the dividend?
X cubed,
Nope. Which one's the dividend?
negative X.
You're dividing by this one. This is the divisor. You're dividing by it. Just read it. It's negative x to the 5th plus 7x cubed minus x divided by x to the 3rd minus x squared plus 1. So this is the dividend. Okay. And so I'm going to put negative x to the 5th plus 7x to the 3rd. I don't do missing terms when I do long division. You don't need to. You have to when you do synthetic. Could you even do synthetic division on this one?
No.
This is not even allowed to do synthetic division. Why? Because the divisor's not linear. You're required to do long division on this one. You have to have a linear term if you want to do synthetic division. Okay? So I'm going to have x to the 3rd minus x squared plus 1. All right, are you ready? How many times you take the first into first? You always go first into first, Brody. Okay? So, because you want to see the highest ones. Okay? So x to the 3rd. What would you have to multiply x to the 3rd by to get negative x to the 5th? Negative x to the 2nd. Does everybody agree? Is that going to give you negative x to the 5th if you multiply them?
Yep.
All right, so now let's distribute with all 3 terms. Here we go. So you're going to have to go negative x squared times x cubed. That's going to give me negative x to the 5th, and those first ones should match up. If they don't, you did something wrong. They better match up. Then you're going to have to take negative x squared times negative x squared, which will be positive x to the 4th. Okay, then you're going to have to take negative x squared times 1, which is going to give you a negative x squared. Now, you can only combine like terms. Do you agree?
Yeah.
All right, so when I subtract, I'm going to have to change the what? Here we go. I'm going to change it. We got a plus. I should use a different color. I'm going to go plus, minus, plus. Is that okay? So the x to 5ths are going to what? All right, I'm going to copy the rest down in descending order, highest power to lowest power. You've got all this stuff here. Are there any like terms? So I'm going to go negative x to the 4th plus 7x to the 3rd plus x squared minus x. I'm just going to bring it all down and get it reorganized. That's what I do when you have missing terms and crap like this, because otherwise it's just going to be a mess. Okay. Now, let's do it again. What do you got to multiply x to the third by to get negative x to the fourth? A negative x. Does everybody see that? You agree?
Yeah.
All right, negative x times x to the third. It better be negative x to the fourth, is it? All right. So that's going to give me negative x to the fourth. And then we're going to have negative x times negative x squared. Let's line it up under its like term if we can. Oh, there it is. All right, then we got negative x times positive 1. Let's line it up under its like term. See how I did that? Ask me now if you got a question. Is that good?
Yep.
What do we do now?
Switch the sign.
Switch the signs. So this is going to be plus, this is going to be minus, and this is going to be plus. Why are we switching the signs? Because we're subtracting. Subtracting, you got to distribute that negative. The first terms are going to what? So we're going to have 6x cubed plus x squared. Ooh, the x's cancel. It's kind of slick. I think we can divide one more time, and this is going to be as far as we can go. Because once you get to the same power, this will be the last one you can do. All right, can you think of something to multiply x to the third by to get 6x to the third? Plus 6. It's going to be the last time. Distribute it. What's 6 times x to the third? 6x to the third. Is everybody okay with that? All right, what's 6 times negative x squared?
Negative 6.
All right, what's 6 times 1? All right, Keithan, what do we do now?
4%.
Flip my signs. Minus, plus, minus. The 6x cubes will cancel. We end up with 7x squared minus 6. That's my remainder.
6 is the remainder.
No, the whole thing.
The whole thing.
All that crap left over is the remainder. So here's how you write the answer. You write the dividend, negative x to the fifth plus 7x cubed minus x has to equal the divisor times the quotient. You got to be able to multiply these two and then add in the remainder and it get back to that. So you're going to have the quotient, which is negative x squared minus x plus 6 times the divisor, which is x cubed minus x squared plus 1 plus the remainder.
You gotta move that pencil. You gotta move that pencil.
That pencil thing bothering you?
Yeah.
So I've got the quotient q of x. Watch this. I've got q of x times the divisor d of x plus the what? Remainder. That's the division algorithm. So I've got the quotient times the divisor plus the remainder, which is just 7x squared minus 6. If you were to FOIL this and add this in, would you get back to this? Yep, that's the whole point. Now, if the remainder is 0, it means it divided evenly.
Do we have to write it down in this form on the test?
Yes,
This is your answer, buddy.
that's your answer. All right, let's go back to 5. She wanted 5. Now, this one I think we can do synthetic division for. Why can we do synthetic division for number 5? Because it's linear. All right, but what goes in the box? You set this equal to 0. So 2 minus, so technically you factor out a 2 to make it look like the slide and glide version of it. But most people just solve it for 0, and no matter how you do it, you're going to get 3 halves. Like you could solve this equal to 0, 2x equals 3, x equals 3 halves. You don't have to factor the 2 out and set it equal to 0. But no matter what, that's what's got to go in the box, the 3 halves. You have to set that equal to 0. Now, what are the coefficients of your synthetic division? The dividend. This is the dividend. 9, 0, 0, and what? You need it all. All right, start my synthetic division. What's the first thing you do? Bring down the 9. Then what do you do?
Divide by 2, multiply by 3.
Divide. Yep, thank you. Thank you for learning the shortcut. 9 times 3s. The 2 in the denominator, just divide by it. Can I do 2 into 9? No. So then just go 9 times 3. So it's 27 halves. Good thing I've got zeros going on. Would you agree?
Yep.
Because then I don't have to worry about finding no dumb common denominator right now. What's 0 plus 27 halves?
27 halves.
All right, what's 27 halves times 3 halves?
Something. But we can't use the calculator. James.
Nope. Multiply straight across if you can't divide.
Yeah, but I don't know what 3 times 27 is.
27 times 3.
I guess you're going to have to go like this. 27 times 3. 1, 2, 81. So it'll be 81 fourths. Sorry, this is college algebra. You got to know how to
I
multiply.
do know how to do it, but I just
Don't want to
quicker.
do it. That's the problem. This is a non-calculator one. Sorry. So that'll be 81 fourths. All right, now multiply again.
Dude, I'm gonna get extra time on this test.
There's not many questions because they take so long. So what's 81 fourths times 3 halves?
243 over 8. Is that right?
It'd be 243 over 8.
Yay. Now we have to subtract. I don't know what to do.
All right, no, we add them. So it'd be 5 over 1 plus 243 over 8. What's the common denominator? 8. So it's going to be 40 over 8 plus 243 over 8, which is what? 2 what? 283 over 8. This is the remainder.
Why can't you use a
Please
calculator
don't
on this
put
part?
Because you can't.
You just don't get a calculator.
Don't get one.
You're lying.
No wonder
I'm
this
not.
test is going to take forever.
All right, now, remember, when this is synthetic division. This you do have to do because I'm not using it to set equal to 0. I'm wanting you to factor it. So you have this 2 here.
Don't you have to divide?
You got to divide it by 2. You got to divide all these by 2. Now, oh, I know, it's not super awesome. What's 9 divided by 2?
9 halves.
9 halves. So that'll be a 9 halves x squared. Now, what's 27 halves divided by 2? You're going to multiply by the reciprocal, so it's going to be 27 fourths. So when you're dividing by 2, aren't you just going to end up multiplying the denominator by 2? So take the next one, 81 fourths divided by 2. Multiply by reciprocal will be 81. So there's my answer times my divisor, 2x minus 3, plus my what?
We don't have to divide the remainder.
No, you don't.
Oh.
Is that the answer? What number is that?
5.
Yep, that is correct. It should be 2x minus 3 times 9 halves x squared plus 27 fourths x plus 81 over 8 plus 283 over 8. You do not have to do the remainder, just the quotient has to get divided by whatever this denominator is. You got to remember to divide by it. Now, here's the cool part. If we were setting this equal to 0 and solving the zeros, would you even need to divide by the 2?
No.
Because remember yesterday I said it gets divided off anyways.
Okay.
Because the zeros get reduced anyway, so you don't have to worry about it in that situation. Only if I ask you with the division algorithm what it is.
Okay, so I need to read directions.
Yep, just read directions. Here we go. Let's go to number 7 through 20. Pick one. I don't care.
Wait.
You should pick a root one.
Wait, 27 through 20 what?
7 through 19 odd.
Oh, 7.
Didn't I give the odds?
19.
All right, here we go, but we're going to do 20. So you can do 19 on your own. So, guess what? All of these, 7 through 19, you get to use what? No. Do not get to use your calculator. You get to use synthetic what?
Division.
Synthetic division. Here we go. We're going to do number 20. All right, so we've got x to the 6th minus 6x to the 4th plus 12x squared minus 8 divided by x plus root 2. All right, what goes in the box? Negative root 2. Is there a fraction? Is it a fraction?
Why is it negative root 2?
No.
You got to set it equal to 0. That was the first thing I
Oh, see
taught you.
what's happening.
Set it equal to 0, please. That's what goes in the box, is the 0 of the polynomial. Now, if the remainder is 0, the remainder theorem will say that x plus root 2 is actually a 0. It's actually an x-intercept. But we got to see if the remainder is 0. All right, what are the coefficients? 1, 0,
Negative
6,
six.
0, negative 12, or positive 12, sorry. Positive 12, my bust. And then what? 0. Wow, a lot of stuff going on.
Too much.
You ready? This one will be super fun without a calculator. Get ready.
Wait, what is that?
Get ready. Here we go.
Is it just
Now, listen. Is this a fraction?
kinda?
No, is this a fraction? Does it have a denominator? So do we have to divide anything off? No. So whatever the answer is going to be the answer. All right, what's the first step? Here we go. Get ready. This is going to be super fun. Here at drop a 1. You'll be glad I did this one because I have one on the test like this. It's probably going to be 19 or 20 since I pretty much take homework problems. All right, 1 times negative root 2. Please, thank you. All right, 0 plus negative root 2.
It's negative root 2.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Watch what happens here.
Is that
Negative root 2 times negative root 2.
Negative root 4.
If I had to say,
it
I'd
just
say
one?
positive root 4
Positive root
if I
4.
had to say it.
What is the square root of 4, people?
2.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
A root cancels itself out when you multiply by it. Root 2 times root 2 is just 2. Anytime you take a root times itself, it cancels itself. Because you get a
Would it
pair.
actually be root 4 and then you simplify it? Like,
I never do that, but you can. That's the long way. That's going around your elbow to get to your kneecap. Okay? All right. What's negative 6 plus 2?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. What's negative 4 times negative root 2? Positive 4 root 2. What's 0 plus 4 root 2? 4 root 2. All right, Brody.
oh, this is 0.
What's root 2 times root 2 again?
That's 4. Root 2 times root 2 is 4. Is it not 4?
It's root 4.
It's root 2. Or it's 2.
Thank you. Anytime, everybody with me. Anytime you multiply a root by itself, what's going to happen to the root? Because you get a pair of 2s. And anytime you get a pair, they go out on a date. You can't go stag to the prom.
It's cute.
Okay, root 2 times root 2 is 2. But then you have a 4. I told you I wasn't teaching root, so go back and watch the video.
We
Root 2 times root 2.
That's 2.
2. 4 times 2.
8.
That's 8. That's negative 8.
There you go.
Ooh.
What's 12 plus negative 8?
4.
4. What's 4 times negative root 2?
Negative 4 root 2.
What's 0 plus negative 4 root 2? All right, here we go. One more time. What's negative 4 root 2 times negative root 2? First of all, what's a negative times a negative?
It's 8.
It is positive 8. And guess what? The remainder is. It divided it evenly, which means this would be a factor. That's a root. That's a 0. That's an x-intercept of that graph. This would be an x-intercept of that graph. So in the division algorithm, your answer is going to be x plus root 2 times this, what's left over. How much does the degree get reduced by when you do synthetic division? By 1. So it goes from x to the 6th down to x to the what? So you got 1x to the 5th minus root 2x to the 4th minus 4x to the 3rd plus 4 root 2x squared plus 4x minus 4 root 2 with a remainder of what? Do you have to put the remainder? It divided it evenly.
Yay. Actually not yay, because didn't we learn yesterday that we had to like do
If it
something?
divided it evenly, we would have to take and divide this further,
Yeah.
which we're going to do today. It's awesome, isn't it?
I
Okay.
like when we just get reminders.
I've never seen a synthetic divisional fraction.
I asked myself the same question.
Because you
What?
can calculate.
Because you have to have it. You want to take it in college with somebody that speaks a little bit of English?
No.
All right. And is not willing to come in early and help you?
This might meet the outfit, right?
Because they would give you a TA and say, good luck.
I was gonna wear a sweater.
All right, here we go. 21 through 30. You want to be a nurse, right? What do you want to be?
I want to be a nurse.
Oh, you need college algebra, even for elementary education. And that's usually the hang up for people that want to be elementary education is I tutored a lot of people in college who wanted to be elementary teachers who could not pass college algebra, and they couldn't be an elementary teacher because they couldn't get through college
Is that
algebra.
like the hardest math class?
That's the hardest one you take. Actually, no. I took elementary principles of teaching math. I got a B in that class.
What's hard about it?
You got to learn all the multiplicity rules, divisibility rules. Like divisibility rules for 3, divisibility rules for 4, all the tricks. You got to learn all the ways you can multiply, all the ways you can divide.
Hey, I'll play my phone.
So here's the thing. If you got college algebra down, that'll be easy.
The nines finger rules that you have.
Yeah, there's all kinds of rules. All right, 21 through 29. Here we go. Shh. Then we'll take a 3-minute break and then we're going to keep going. 21 through 29. This, it says in exercises 21 through 30, determine P of C using the remainder theorem for the given polynomial function, the value of C. If P, C, listen, you got to listen. If P of C equals 0, then factor it. All right, so I'm going to do one. I'm going to do number, I'll pick one of yours to do, and then I'll do one even. You pick, so I'm going to do one of the evens. I'm going to do number 24. Shh, quiet, guys. Cannot be a distraction. Okay, 24, P of X is going to be equal to X a third plus 2X squared plus 3X plus 4. And they tell you C is equal to -1. So they want you to find P of -1. Now, the old way, we could just plug it in. Don't write this down, though. The old way, you just plug it in. -1 to the third plus 2 times -1 squared plus 3 times -1 plus 4. And you could probably do that, but it would be a pain in the butt without the calculator. One's not going to be terrible, but it's still not going to be fun without the calculator. Would you agree? No, you don't get a calculator any problem because you're going to use what, which is easier? Synthetic division, because if you put the -1 in the box, the remainder is the answer. So what are the coefficients? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, this is some elementary math. All right, what do we do first, Morgan?
Just wait, bro. This problem's
Drop the 1. Here we go. What's 1 times -1, everybody? Add it to the next one. What do we get? 1. What's 1 times -1? -1.
Two.
I'm gonna be gone today.
Where you guys at?
Should have came this morning.
Yeah,
2 times -1. What you got?
-2.
There'll be a video up.
sounds good.
Okay? And I videoed this morning, and it was really good. All right, what do you got for remainder? Is the remainder 0? So does this thing factor? It might factor, but we don't know what works, so can we factor it right now? No, so we know P of -1, if we were to actually type this in on the calculator, it should equal what? Check it with your calculator right now. I do want you to type it on the calculator.
Is the answer to P.
Remainder of the answer. Yes. That's why you want the remainder to equal 0.
What if
No,
it
I want
does
it to equal that, 'cause then we
then
can just be
P of
done.
No,
-1 is
you want it to.
0?
Huh? In section 3.3, you want it to be 0 because I'm going to make you do it until you find something that works. What now?
Yeah, what if it is 0?
Then you know it factors further. Then you know you could take this and factor this further.
Oh, so then
I can
-1
attest
would be
that
an X.
It'd be an x-intercept.
Can you attest?
So how,
You can attest that it equals 2? All right.
so how do we write it?
The answer then would just be this. It'd be x plus 1 times x squared plus x plus 2 with a remainder of what?
Okay, so that's how we just.
Yeah, it doesn't divide it evenly, so we can't divide it any further. 21 through 29, can somebody do one that worked in the answer key that you actually had to take further?
I'm pretty sure 25 did work.
25 did work. Let's do 25. Here we go.
Because that's where I quit and gave
All right, 25. Here we go. 25. We've got P of X is equal to 3x to the third minus 6x squared plus 4x minus 8. Now, here's what we're getting at today. Today, we're actually going to go through and actually factor them. But I'm not going to tell you what works. You're going to have to go until you find what works.
Or is that's just diagonal.
It is cruel. I'm not going to lie. It's cruel. It's cruel and unusual punishment. Here we go. We know that this, they're telling us see if 2 works. Not see if, see.
So negative 2.
See if 2 works. C equals 2. That's funny.
Or no, is that what we just
I don't get it.
C equals, see if 2 works.
Oh,
see if 2 works.
All right. P of 2. In order for 2 to work, the remainder has to be what? 0. All right. She don't get it. You're yep. Did you dye that hair? All right. Here we go. All right. What goes in the box?
2.
What goes in the box? 2. All right. We got a 3, a -6, a 4, and a -8. Watch. This is what your synthetic division, Keithan, should look like when you get really good. Are you ready? Here's what it should look like. This is what synthetic division should look like. Drop the 3. You get a 6. You get a 0. You get a 0. You get a 4. You get an 8. You get a 0.
Ooh, it's
I did that.
Ooh.
I did that fast.
You did it that fast? It's not bad when you get good at it. Okay? Now, was the remainder 0? Guess what? P of 2 equals 0, which means Brody's made the connection. That's an x-intercept on that graph. That means x minus 2 is a factor. That means the remaining is 3x squared plus 4. All right, let's see. Can we factor this further? Well, does this factor? You're going to have to go to your factoring cheat sheet. Is there a GCF?
Ooh, is this the whole?
Nah, you use it into your homework and then get good at it.
Is
This
this the whole
is
difference
the-
of
X
squares
minus
thing?
2, take that out.
I can't factor that.
Yeah, this is a difference of
This is the difference of
No,
squares.
but it's not a difference. It's a plus, so can you do it?
Oh, yes, sum of squares?
There's no such thing as a sum of 2 squares.
How do you do that?
It doesn't factor. You're done.
Oh, good. So you're just trying to
It's a
It's a trick question.
There it is. It's done. You can't get a GCF. It's not a sum of 2 cubes. It's not a difference of 2 cubes. It's not a difference of 2 squares.
I think this was pretty much the same as the one we did in class,
Mm-hmm.
number 3. But how do I go about this? Alright, is there a 3-minute break yet? Please.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Go. Hurry. 2 minutes. Because I have to leave at 45. I have to get done 5 minutes early. So go.
Oh, you do?
We're here 50 minutes.
What?
9:45.
Alright.
Because I've got it. My wife's coming back from her
Oh, yeah.
oral surgery, and then I got to go get my mom. So it's like a doc / couple of things. I couldn't get my wife to the doctor without it. All right. Yeah,
I
here,
need a phone break.
Bjorn.